there is a cancer that has been seeping through the ranks of the British Army for quite some time now. And this particular cancer is ideological in nature. I am, of course, talking about political correctness. Now, I served in the British Army between 1997 and 2005, and I could see signs of it. I wasn't political at all back then. Politics, right-wing, left-wing, Labour, Conservative, anything like that, it just didn't interest me at all. But we knew back then that you had to be careful how you spoke about and addressed certain issues and demographics. Now then, this morning I woke up and did my usual tour of YouTube, my usual subscribed channels. One of my favourites is, of course, the Reverend Simon Sideways, and he posted a video, and the title was Diversity and Inclusivity in the British Army, the Psychosis of Whiteness. And he talked briefly about this subject because he's going to do a live stream about it. Date to be confirmed, I'm not sure when it is. But it's basically his reaction to another video made by another excellent YouTuber called History Debunked. And it's exactly the same title of the video, where he talks about members of the British Army going on a course or a training day, where these soldiers were given a presentation about white people, and they were given papers to sign to say that they agreed with it. So what I did was I looked up this Psychosis of Whiteness, and it is a film, it's a documentary. And to me, it seems like an adult version of critical race theory, which is being taught in American schools. Thankfully, it's not being taught in schools here in the UK, well, just yet. But the way this country's going, especially if the Conservatives do lose the next general election and Keir Starmer and his lunatic left-wing Labour lot get in, you can bet your bottom dollar critical race theory will be taught in schools here in the UK. And critical race theory is hatred of white people and making white kids feel guilty for their skin colour, history and culture, etc., which is completely racist, wrong, and quite frankly infuriating to me. So the British soldiers would have no doubt been shown this Psychosis of Whiteness film, and according to the video History Debunked, they were also told to sign papers to say that they agreed with it. So what does this mean? This means simply that the British Army is going downhill, and this political correct cancer has trickled down from the very top. You see, I've had a theory for quite some time now that socialism, Marxism, it'll all be indoctrinated into the British Army sooner or later. It'll become a political army just like the North Koreans and the Chinese, etc., where those soldiers are practically brainwashed by their masters and then become politically brain dead, or one-sided politically brain dead fighting machines, and that's it. And this has been brought into the British Army by, of course, officers. Now, officers come from Sandhurst. Sandhurst recruits mainly or exclusively from university-type kids, A-levels, higher education people, basically. And universities here in the UK for quite some time now, they have been communist, socialist, Marxist, indoctrinated cesspits of hate, self-loathing, and quite frankly, dangerous. So these idiots have decided to join the British Army. They've gone through the selection process into Sandhurst, done their year's worth of training, and they joined their allotted regiments where they've brought this ideology with them. And, you know, it's enough of them now for it to become mainstream in the British Army, hence why members of the British Army, lower ranks, have had to go on this training course and sign these papers to acknowledge their own self-loathing, guilt of being white and white culture. And it's disgusting. It's destroying what the British Army should be. You see, when I joined, it was still a time where you had squaddies in there, mature squaddies, people who'd gone on through the ranks, where they were patriotic, they were nationalistic, they were proud of their country, their people, history, culture, traditions which are dying now in the British Army. So it was either jail or, serve your country. Same with me. I had no hope of getting a job in North Wales where I grew up because I had no family connections. So it was the army for me, and I did rather well for myself. But there was, even back then, the odd rumour, the odd story that someone had been sacked or demoted for saying or doing something racist. So gone are the days where you have ruffians, people who were dragged up council estates, proud of their country, joining the army, doing well for themselves, becoming excellent soldiers, proud patriots, that type of person. It seems to me now that the British Army doesn't want any of these. What the British Army wants now are weedy socialist types from wealthy families who've got degrees and A-levels in social studies, so they can inject that nonsense into the British Army and weaken her. Again, I'm going back to Yuri Bezmenov, and I've mentioned this guy so many times, and it's true. And that is how some far left-wing extremist military complex takes over a country, pushing in ideologies, rhetoric, left-wing ideas, socialism, Marxism, communism, weakening the people's will for patriotism, making nationalism a bad thing, and making the people turn on and hate their own people and their own kind. And this applies to white people. Remember the extreme right-wing indicators and warnings that the British Army brought out a few years ago, where it handed out these leaflets to squaddies, put them all over the platoon and company lines, and it told squaddies to look out for individuals who describe themselves as patriots, look at opponents as traitors, become increasingly angry at perceived injustices or threats to so-called national identity, refer to political correctness as some left-wing or communist plot, as I am doing now, which it is. I mean, surely the people who believe in these things, who see opponents as traitors, describe themselves as patriots, these are the people you want defending your country. Am I right? And I wouldn't put it past these fuckers where the day will soon come where the more ethnically diverse you are, the more stripes you get, and you get quicker up the promotion ladder. I mean, Joe Biden's done it. Bungalow Biden's done it in the United States. He personally promoted his health secretary to a 4-star admiral, a person with no military experience whatsoever who is transgender. I'm telling you now, it's coming. It's really coming, folks. Merit for promotion is going out the window. So if people ask me now, should I recommend a career in the army now? I would say yes. If you are so inclined to believe in this bullshit, then go for it. However, if you are a patriotic British person who is proud of white culture, white history, British history, and you want to defend your nation, this United Kingdom, from enemies, both domestic and foreign, then no, it's not the place for you, I'm afraid. So yes, this whole story, this video psychosis of whiteness has infuriated many former servicemen which I know, and some which still serve. I mean, what kind of army, what kind of defence force would even try to force the main demographic of the nation it serves hate themselves? Well, I'm telling you now, it's not a patriotic one. Anyway, that's what I think. Please let me know what you think in the comments. And if you wish to support my channel, then by all means you can buy me a beer. The link is down below. And until my next video, please comment, share, subscribe, and Roger Trout.